it's Shay Seeking from American Aborigines Unchained here on Facebook and YouTube. And yeah, I just wanted to share a quick story that was just really annoying to me. So, okay, I called maybe like last Wednesday or something to try and schedule like a last minute appointment, right? Because you know how you get a lot of a certain amount for like your insurance for like dentist work and stuff like that. So I'm like, okay, you know what? I've been playing around or whatever, you know, with all the stuff, the cold or flu stuff that's been going around. You know what I'm talking about. You know, I hadn't really went or taken any of the children to the doctor, you know, in a while. So anyhow, I'm like, okay, it's coming to the end of the year, you know, let me go ahead and make this appointment real quick, you know, to just get my teeth cleaned or whatever, so I can use up whatever I have for this year. So I make the appointment like last Wednesday or something. You know, I talked to the lady. They know our family really well. We've been going to them for years. And you know, so I make the appointment. I talked to the lady and everything, and she just said, okay, well, yeah, we have an appointment or whatever. Let's just make sure that when you come or whatever, you call before you come in, and we'll tell you what to do or whatever. And I'm thinking like, okay, this is stupid, you know. And my husband had already gone maybe like 3 weeks ago or whatever, and he was saying, oh, they were asking about you and stuff like that, right? So anyhow, I end up okay, I might be running a little bit late or whatever, but I ended up getting there on time. And I called, now this is probably like 20 something minutes away from my house, you know, so I ended up getting there, and I called, and they were like, oh, you're outside? Okay, well, you can come in. Like, so I don't even see what the big deal about having to call when you got in the parking lot, because I mean, I guess if they're at maximum capacity, which I doubt, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, so they couldn't, so anyways, I'm thinking they're going to ask me something or whatever when I get there, because he said they're going to ask you questions like, did you have a fever, and are you around anyone with COVID? Okay, so anyway, I call, they say come in, I come in. Now I get up to the register, and there's one girl that just started working there not that long ago, and I just can't stand her for some reason. So anyways, she's there, and she's like, oh yeah, you know, appointment or whatever. And she's like, oh yeah, and just so you know, there is a balance on the account, you know. And then, you know, she told me how much it was or whatever. And then I'm like, oh, okay. So, and she was like, so we would just like to see if you can take care of that, you know, today or whatever, you know, before, you know. And then I'm like, oh, well, you know, I don't know. Let me go back out in the car and get my phone, you know, let me check something. So anyhow, okay, so I said, well, how much of it do I have to pay? And she said, well, we would like the whole thing, since it's been a while. You know, it's been almost a year, right? So I'm like, oh, okay, well, that's not going to happen. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, I can pay this much or whatever. And she's like, oh, okay. And so I gave her the card, whatever. She takes it. She does what she does. And then she was like, here you go. And she was like, and so what would you like to do with the rest or whatever? And I'm thinking like, well, would you like me to do another form of payment, or do you want me to put your card on file and da-da-da-da? No, I don't want you to do, no, we don't need to do that. You know, whenever I get around to it, I'll call back and, you know, add to whatever, you know, I can do. And she's like, oh, okay, that's fine. All right. So she's like, well, she'll be out in a second or whatever. Go ahead and see. Okay. Now, mind you, I forget to tell you that when I walked in, I did not have a mask on, and the girl was sitting there at the desk. She had a mask on, and there was a little plexiglass thing there, I guess supposed to stop the spread. Like the shit just can't go up and around and down through the thing. So anyhow, so she's like, oh, you don't have a mask? And I'm like, no. And then she's like, okay. And so she goes over there and gets a mask, and she gave it to me. So this is like right when I walked in. I forgot to say that part. Okay, so I'm already annoyed, okay? Because you about to open up my damn mouth up in here. I'm about to breathe all in your face. You about to, you know what I'm saying? She about to be drilling around and digging around in my damn mouth. Water and shit gonna be flickering around. But, you know, so am I gonna just have a mask on during the whole damn cleaning? I mean, it just makes no sense to me. And first of all, if it spreads so fast and it's like this and that, once I walked in the door and I didn't have the mask on and I started talking to you, you would have the shit. The shit would be in here. You know what I'm saying? So, anyway, I'm sitting down. The lady comes out and she's like, oh, come on back. So she goes over to this little table station. They have like a temperature thing. They have, what do you call it? What did they have? Oh, some sanitizer, and they had like a laminated like list or whatever. And so she asked me, you know, have you been around anybody with COVID, or do you have a fever? And I'm like, no. And so she takes the thing, you know, she tries to take the temperature, but I had my hat on my forehead. And she's like, oh, can you lift this up a little bit or whatever? And I kind of scrunched my forehead or whatever for the hat to move up. And so I don't think it moved up that much, because she was like, oh. And she just tried to scan it, and she's like, okay, what, you know, it's okay. And so then we're going to walk back to the room, and then she stopped again. And she's like, oh, yeah. So have you had a cough, a stomach ache, muscle aches, this, that, all this other stuff? Okay. Runny nose, stuffy nose, whatever. So now, mind you, I'm getting over something, right? And so I know that I had like a little faint cough left, but it was, you can hear it in my chest or whatever. So there's no need for me to lie about me not having a cough, because I'm pretty sure I might cough sometime while I'm in there. And so I said, you know, I was, and what I thought had happened really was I was helping my daughter move not last week, but the week before. And it was cold and rainy, and, you know, I didn't really have the proper attire on. So I figured I must have gotten sick, you know, because I think it started with my throat hurting or something like that, right? Because you all know I think that this is what this is anyway, right? You know, because again, people are acting like people can't just have a cold or the regular flu or anything like this. They're walking around acting like most people that get this, that are pretty much healthy, are asymptomatic, and they're not going to show any symptoms. So then nobody should be able to just go, right? Okay. So anyhow, she asked me, and I said, you know, if I want to be transparent, to be honest, you know, I might have like a slight cough, like randomly here and there, because, you know, I was out, you know, helping my daughter move or whatever. And she's like, oh. And so she kind of like starts like leaning back a little bit. And she's like, well, yeah, well, I don't know. Just because that is a symptom of, you know what, I think maybe, yeah, we should probably, did you want to reschedule or something? Because that is one of the things. So sorry, but, you know, and then I'm thinking like, oh, well, you know, I mean, I guess if I have to, you know, I mean, I wish that somebody would have told me that over the phone before I came in, you know, because I just drove all the way down here, you know. And she's like, oh, I'm so sorry, but, you know, it's just because it is, you know. And I said, and it's just, you know, funny how, I mean, there's people that, I said, and I told her that part about most people that get the virus, you know, don't even have no symptoms. So, you know what I'm saying? But whatever, you know. I guess I'll just have to. And she's like, you want to just go up front and make it? I said, no, that's okay. I'll just call back when I get a chance, and I'll just reschedule it. Which I'm probably not, because I'm probably just going to be switching dentists. Not about this. I'm just tired of coming all the way down, and I'm tired of, you know, just some of the things about the place. Okay. So yeah, I leave, and I'm just thinking like, dude, this is just so ridiculous. Like, you about to be in my damn mouth. Why in the hell would somebody have to have a mask on? You know, it's like being at a restaurant and then taking a sip or taking a bite of your food and putting a fucking mask back on. This shit is just retarded, right? So anyway, I'm good. I mean, I'm pretty sure there's a lot of people that they've seen that may have been asymptomatic and could have gotten them sick. But at the end of the day, it's up to them to choose what they want to do. But anyhow, I have this image up here because I thought it was pretty cool, because when I drove through, I saw this on one of the buildings in the area, you know, and I just thought that I would share it with you, because I think the image is gorgeous. And I don't know what they use, spray paint, I don't know what the hell this is, but, you know, they, in certain areas, they still have stuff boarded up, you know, and this is one of the things that somebody, I guess, had made and put up. So yeah, anyhow, And this person might be in tune with the fact of who we are, because I do see this warrior with the feathers in his head down there to the right, you know, by the cheek. So anyway, I just think this whole thing is just ridiculous. If it's that serious and that bad, why are dentist office open anyhow? And just like in the other video, why were banks even issuing out money if you're so scared that somebody's gonna get something on the money and it end up spreading? Why wouldn't the money be the first thing that you just cut down? Because I feel like what they're doing, they're just doing a controlled demolition of the economy, of the mind, of the health and wealth, and the of the beings, okay, that are on this plane. And you know, it's just sad to see. The most sad part is that people are not paying attention, or people can't see how these things are just closing in on you. You know what I'm saying? Now, like I said before, I don't think that all this stuff is bad. They may be shutting down because remember, when we're rising, they're falling. So we don't have really a part in this system. We're not connected on an economic scale as a whole group of people. This is not our world. This is a world that had been created on top of us and has conducted everything to go against us since they formed or established, or you know, their foundation or their firmament. So anyhow, it's not that sad for me to see the thing falling, is what I'm saying. I don't think that it is really for us to worry about really at all. Besides the fact that they're going to somewhat try to persecute or poison or test us at these times. And we need to be aware, awake, and paying attention to what's going to benefit us as well. So we do need to pay attention to what they're doing for signs and symbols and for the seasons, right? But at the same time, don't let that be something that is going to have you stagnant, okay? So again, I don't know, this is a different kind of video for me, but I just thought that it was just something to share, some type of like not even a story time, but just a rant again. You know, I'm just, feels like I've been doing that lately. So all right, I'll see you guys soon, and don't forget to comment, rate, and subscribe if you are enjoying the content on the channel. And also don't forget to join us in American Aborigines Unchained, or so-called African Americans Unchained. So-called African Americans Unchained is the public group, and Aborigines Unchained is the private group. But I'm thinking of taking Aborigines Unchained and moving it over and changing the name within 30 days, so that give people 30 days or so to switch over to the public group, because yeah, it's just not okay, let's stop. I may keep Unchained and keep it at that name, or I may, okay, just keep the other group that's public the way it is, as so-called African Americans Unchained, and keep it public, right? And then just go ahead and dwindle the one group down, the private group down, to a certain group of people that would be some form of ambassadors or something, or administrators or something. And then have the, like I said, the public group open to the public, so that people can share with their family and friends if they like. Because there is a lot of information in the group, and again, a lot of people are complaining, saying that they can't share the stuff, and so I want to make sure that they'll be able to do that. So anyways, whatever it is, okay, if you are in American Aborigines Unchained, go on over to so-called African Americans Unchained, just in case, right? Okay, so again, I want to thank you guys for your cooperation and your love, light, and support, and I'll see you guys soon. Take care.